Hello Mila, hello Jack. Hello anybody else who's watching. Today's book is called Pingu and the Birthday Present. It was Grandpa's birthday, and Pingu didn't know what to buy him. He wanted to get him something very special, but he couldn't decide what Grandpa would like most. Buy some fresh bread, said the baker. Pingu looked at the bread and shook his head and walked on. Soon he came to the fish stall. As he was walking past, the fishmonger said, "Buy some fish, fresh from the sea." Pingu didn't look very impressed. He said. The fishmonger showed him a very strange-looking fish. "These are on special offer today." He said. "Yuck, no thank you," said Pingu, and he hurried on. "Oh dear," thought Pingu to himself sadly. "I'm never going to find anything for Grandpa's birthday." Just then he came to a shop with beautiful shells in the window. "They're the most fantastic shells I've ever seen," he said as he gazed at them. "That's what I want to buy for Grandpa." Inside the shop there were rows and rows of the wonderful shells. Pingu stared all around. He couldn't take his eyes off them. Eventually he decided which one he wanted to buy for Grandpa. "I think I'd like that one," he said, pointing to an unusual spiky shell. The shopkeeper tied up the shell in a pretty box. "That will cost you 1 fish, please." "Here you are," said Pingu. "Thank you." "Thank you," said the shopkeeper as she picked up the fish and started to eat it. Pingu picked up the pretty box and set off for Grandpa's house. As Pingu came out of the shop, he saw Pinga on her way to see Grandpa. Her parcel looked much bigger than his. "Hey, Pinga!" he shouted. "What have you got there?" "It's Grandpa's birthday present," said Pinga. "I'm going to give it to him now. Do you want to come with me?" "No thanks," said Pingu. "There's something I have to do first." As soon as Pinga had gone, Pingu ran back into the shop. "I need a bigger box, please," he said to the shopkeeper. She looked under the counter and brought out a bright green box. "Will this do?" she asked. Pingu thought for a moment and then shook his head. "No," he said. "It needs to be much bigger than that. About this big," he said, stretching his wings out wide. "How about this one then?" she asked. "It's very nice, but it's just not big enough. It needs to be really big," said Pingu. "Have you got one?" he asked worriedly. The shopkeeper thought for a moment. "I have 2 big boxes outside. I could let you have those." Pingu's face lit up. "That's perfect," he cried. Meanwhile, Pinga had arrived at Grandpa's house. "Hello, Grandpa," she called. "Happy birthday." Then she gave him his present. "Is that for me?" asked Grandpa. "How kind." Pinga watched it excitedly as Grandpa unwrapped her present. "It's lovely," he said as he hung it on the wall. "It's a picture of you," she said. Then Pinga sang "Happy Birthday" to Grandpa. He was delighted. Just then the doorbell rang and Pingu walked in. He was carrying an enormous box, tied up with gold ribbon. "Happy birthday, Grandpa," he said. "What's in that box?" asked Pinga. "You'll have to wait and see," said Pingu. "Open it, Grandpa." Grandpa picked up the enormous box and put it on the table. He said. "Whatever can this be?" He untied the ribbon and lifted off the lid. Inside was another box. Said Grandpa. "Very interesting." He opened the second box to see what was inside. "Another box," he said. Pingu laughed happily to himself. Grandpa began to wonder if he would ever find his birthday present. He opened the bright green box, and nestling inside it was a pretty oval box with a ribbon around it. Grandpa opened the oval box, and there inside lay the beautiful shell. "Oh," said Pinga, "it's so pretty. What a lovely present," said Grandpa. "Thank you, Pingu, it's very beautiful." "I'm glad you like it," said Pingu. Grandpa looked around at his room. It was completely covered in wrapping paper, ribbons and boxes. He didn't have room to move. "Oh dear," he said to Pingu and Pinga, "it's time we did some tidying up." Pingu had started to feel guilty for using all the boxes he didn't really need. "I'm sorry, Grandpa," he said. "I just didn't think." "That's all right," said Grandpa. "We can bundle everything up together and take it back to the shop. Then it can be used by somebody else." The three penguins began to tidy up. Pinga collected all the ribbons and put them neatly into one box. Pingu wrapped up all the wrapping paper, and then Grandpa put the lid back on all the boxes. Pingu wanted to carry all the boxes on his own. He piled them up, one on top of each other, and lifted the huge load up. But he couldn't carry them properly. "I think you should let Pinga carry something," said Grandpa. Pingu took the smallest box off the top of the pile and gave it to his sister. "Here you are," he said. "You can carry this one." When they got to the shell shop, Grandpa opened the door and called the shopkeeper. "Hello," he cried. The shopkeeper came to the door. "We've bought some boxes back for you so that you can use them again," said Grandpa. Pingu and Pinga put the boxes down. "Thank you very much," he said. "They'll be very useful." Pingu was delighted that she could use the boxes again. "Come on then," he cried. "Let's go back to Grandpa's." Once they got back to the house, Grandpa sat down with Pingu and Pinga, and he looked at his lovely presents. "What a lucky penguin I am," he said. "And we're lucky that you're our grandpa," said Pingu. "Happy birthday." The end. Bye-bye, Mila. Bye-bye, Jack. See you all soon. Bye-bye.